Good morning. John Sautter from the Purdue Alumni Association, along with April Holleiter behind the camera and her team, and we're bringing you another session of Facebook Live, another Tuesday tour as we look around campus to some familiar sights and kind of bring you up to date with what's going on. Today we're back at Mackey Arena. We had such a positive response to our first go-around here in November, where we were on the lower concourse. We decided we'd come to the upper concourse today and kind of show you some of the things, relive some of the history of the 50-year history of Mackey Arena, and show a little bit of some of the areas that you might not be familiar with, but maybe just enough that you kind of know where you are. So that's why we're outside, to kind of give you a point of reference. The Holloway Gymnasium is next door where volleyball team plays. The north entrance to Mackey Arena is here, and this is the beautiful addition that they put on just a few years ago to the arena. So we're going to be talking about those things. In the interest of full disclosure, I must tell you that we are recording this in advance to kind of hopefully keep it within a listening length. So we'll be pausing in between some of our stops along the way, since we have our talking points are kind of spread out here this morning. And so as you're listening to this, it'll have been recorded previously. But I should mention, those boilers are doing great, and we couldn't help but come back over here and kind of get a part of the buzz that's going on with our men's basketball team. So we're going to go inside the entryway. So now we're in the beautiful new entryway we're actually on the northwest corner of Mackey Arena. Beautiful motion P, the huge motion P hanging above, has provided another whole gateway into this beautiful facility as we talk about Mackey Arena, its 50-year history, and highlight some of the things that go on in here. It's a little cold outside this morning, so again, the students are going through not so bad today, 20 degrees, I think, and sunshine. And so another day on campus. Beautiful entryway as we get into Mackey. The facility on the left was added with the $100 million enhancement of Mackey Arena. And so this is the part that's along Northwestern Avenue. So we're going to have a look inside the strength and conditioning room that has been made available for all athletes. They've got the music cranked up this morning, so it might be a little loud. So this is the new strength. Hi, come on in. This is the new strength and conditioning center that was made available with the addition. So Northwestern Avenue is right out here as a point of reference. Cardinal Court is at the far end, one floor below us. And so we're actually kind of above the men's and the women's locker room and the training center, the sports medicine center. Just to give you a point of reference, and above us would be the offices of Matt Painter and Sharon Versip, volleyball and some of those things. So this is kind of the main floor. Again, the Strength and Conditioning Center. This is run by Jen Jones, who's been brought in as a special strength conditioning coach. She actually has 9 coaches that work for her, 9 strength and conditioning coaches. This facility is available basically 12 to 15 hours a day. Starts as early as 6 in the morning, goes to 7 or 8 at night. It's available for all of our athletes, all 300 and some plus scholarship athletes can come in here. They use the Olympic approach to conditioning, which is a lot of weights, a lot of squats, some machines, but not a lot of them. And so the coaches work with all the different athletes. So as you might imagine, from the golf team, which requires a certain amount of a process for muscle enhancement, compared to the pole vaulter on the track team, compared to the swimming team, they all have different muscle groups they have to work on. Very, very specialized these days. And so, what a beautiful facility to have to do all that. So, we're going to walk back out now and go into Mackey Arena. And some of you, this may actually be the entrance to Mackey Arena. We wanted to go down the hallway and highlight part of the group that helps make all of this possible. And so the John Purdue Club is our booster club, 6,000 or 7,000 or 8,000 strong these days, and it's through their contributions that they significantly enhance the Purdue sports experience at Purdue, reminding you that Purdue is an independent athletic operation, receiving no funds from the university. All the scholarship athletes, they're paying full freight, and so those out-of-state scholarships are significant. But it takes folks like these, people in the Groban Society. These are all the folks who, out of the generosity of their heart, have fully endowed scholarships for a lot of our athletes. And so the John Purdue Club would love to reinforce the point that they could obviously use more of these, but a lot of these folks are loyal Boilermakers. I'll just highlight John and Jan Note, who have given one in memory of John's parents, Ray and Marguerite Note. John Note has a long history with the athletic department. Actually, he's, this is your Jeopardy information, he was the #2 Purdue Pete when he was in school, and now he's actually on our board of directors for the Alumni Association. Retired radiologist in town, just a great guy and a great supporter. This side points out the hundreds and hundreds of folks who made a contribution that helped make this facility possible. It was $100 million, and at least a third to almost a half of that came from private donations. The rest came from Big Ten revenue and television revenue and that sort of thing. And so it takes those combined contributions to really keep our athletic department hopping, and we hope you'll all consider that. We're going to pause now and move down the hallway, so we'll be back with you as we get to the concourse of Mackey Arena. Okay, we're back again. Now we're into the concourse, actually outside upper section 115 of Mackey Arena. And a few things to point out. One is, when they made the addition, they really focused on enhancing the fan experience. And so the concourse itself is almost 3 times as wide as it used to be. And so in the old days, many of you remember, to eat a hot dog at halftime was quite the challenge, as you're elbow to elbow with folks. Terrific experience now. The point of sale stations for concessions has gone from 12 to 48. So 4 times as many places to purchase food, and they have the wide variety of food, including Arnie's Pizza and all those sorts of things on the concourse now. Restroom facilities, of course, were enhanced with lots of facilities, 3 times as many women's restrooms as there was before. And then on the inside, of course, they increased the seating capacity a little bit, and they actually added premium seats, again, as a way to boost some resources, for the program itself. We're actually kind of on the north end. The tunnel is right below us. This is where the team comes onto the floor. At 9 o'clock in the morning, it's kind of quiet down here right now. But if you've been to a few of the games, it's just a terrific fan experience here. And the next few games ought to just be outstanding as Purdue continues to do well. I want to highlight a display case. This display case, and there's several all the way around the concourse. We don't want to do all of them today, and so if you get a chance to come here, you need to kind of look at these. And this is open all day long. The public can come in and you can walk around, and it would be a great thing to do on a weekend or a weekday. Bring your kids in, that sort of thing. This side of it highlights the men's coaching staff, and it includes, of course, George King, who was the coach and became an athletic director. Lee Rose, he was here for a couple of years. Joe Barry Carroll was the highlight of his career. Then, of course, Gene Cady, who had a 25-year career. And this display case highlights Gene Cady, for whom the court is named, has some memorabilia. It looks like it's Gene Cady's actual phone right there that they have in this particular display case. Gene still comes back to campus. We get to see him once in a while. Then we have Warren Piggy Lambert, one of the original coaches. Ray Eddy, who coached for many years, and Fred Schaus. He was coaching here for about 6 years or so. So a nice background on those folks. This side talks about the women's coaches. And of course, Carolyn Peck, one of our favorites, because she brought us the Final Four. In fact, she brought us the national championship. Ruth Jones. Ruth Jones was one of the original coaches. She started in 1976, and she was here for 10 years. I knew Ruth very well. She and I arrived at Purdue about the same time. She was very much into time and motion studies. She learned that from her father, actually. And so when it came to practices and all those sorts of routines for the players, very interesting to see how she operated in that. Lynn Dunn, Christy Curry, Nell Fortner, all previous coaches within the program. And now we have Sharon Versup, who's our coach. Here's some memorabilia from the women's Final Four. In fact, this is the actual chair from the Final Four when they won the national championship. This would be one of the chairs that the players sat on. So great mementos of that time. So now we're going to move down the concourse, and so we're going to pause again, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, hello again. Now we want to talk a little bit about a lot of the championship trophies and highlight Sharon Versup and Matt Painter, our current coaches, because they have added significantly to this. And so this half of the display case, and we are sorry for the reflection, we couldn't quite get the right angle here, but you kind of get the idea. There's a lot of trophies here. And so the men have won 23 Big Ten championships, and most all of those trophies are in here. On the women's side, we've won seven Big Ten championships, more coming, and their trophies are in here, as well as more recently, when each of the teams have won the conference tournament at the end of the season. Those are in here also. Just a great hardware display of how well the teams have done. We're now going to drift down the concourse just a little bit and talk about our biggest accomplishment, our national accomplishment, and that's our national championship. And here you see the beautiful Crystal Sears Trophy. This is from the national championship in 1999. Carolyn Peck was our coach. And of course, the interesting story with Carolyn Peck, that she actually was Nell Fortner's assistant coach. Nell Fortner, after a couple of years, decided to go and coach in the WNBA, which was starting to really gain prominence then. Carolyn took over the team and did very well her first year. She also got an offer from the WNBA, but she had Stephanie White, Corey Figs, Katie Douglas. A lot of good things were going on, and so they talked her really into staying another year. She got an extension on this job offer. She stayed for one more year in 1999, and what a magical year it turned out to be. We won the national championship that year. And so a beautiful Crystal Trophy is the one from the NCAA on display in this case. So this is something you would definitely want to see. We're now kind of on the east side, and I want to point out in the far corner the Spurgeon Club. The Spurgeon Club is a facility made available through the generosity of Tom and Joy Spurgeon. Tom is on our board of trustees. The Spurgeon Club is kind of the meeting place for the John Purdue Club members. So those who donate, they have a nice spot to gather. It's a two-story facility that serves meals before the game, before, during, and after the games. And it's a great meeting place on campus. And so it's something that you might want to, it's another benefit of the John Purdue Club. But Tom Spurgeon, just a great guy, pretty good golfer too. They made that available, and again, most appreciative for that. We're going to pause again and go down the hallway. Okay, we're back. Thanks for sticking with us here. We're now outside, kind of on the west side of Mackey Arena, and you see the football stadium to kind of give you a point of reference again. But we really want to highlight this outside sculpture of John Wooden. This was given to the university just a few years ago, donated, with John Wooden and his Pyramid of Success in the background. John Wooden, a 1932 student and athlete. 1932, actually, outstanding player of the year for the country. The national was recognized for that. He played for Ward Lambert, who we saw earlier, played in the Memorial Gym. Eventually worked his way up, became the coach at UCLA in 1948, up until the 1970s or so. Coached there for many, many years. Went to 12 Final Fours. Yes, that's 12. Has 10 national championships with UCLA. One of the games, of course, he coached was when we opened Mackey Arena in 1967. He had Lou Alcindor playing for him at the time. Lou Alcindor versus Rick Mounts. They won 2 points. We're not over at Jet still. But John Wooden actually came back to campus and has had lots of successful players play for him over the years. I really want to highlight his Pyramid of Success because he's really kind of become known for his approach to leadership, his approach to success, the way he defines success. In fact, I would highlight to you, there's some YouTubes that you can go to, YouTube offerings, where he talks about his definition of success and coaching young people and that sort of thing. Still today, just excellent teaching tools that you might want to consider. In fact, he's done such a good job and has so much to offer there that the athletic department here does now offer the John Wooden Leadership Institute. And it's for a lot of the athletes, particularly the captains of the teams, in terms of providing leadership, for their particular sports, that sort of thing. Kathy Wright-Ager heads that up and just does an outstanding job. Has gotten really a lot of national attention for our approach to actually dealing with the athletes and helping them with the leadership skills and even life skills. A lot of our students have been athletes all their lives, and all of a sudden when they graduate, it's a different world. Through that same institute now, she actually has a variety of classes that she offers to our athletes that are headed out. So we're proud to claim John Wooden as one of our own, and they actually display the pyramid of success behind us. I wanted to close with 3 quotes from John Wooden, since he had many that are available, but I like these. One, he said, "Things turn out best for people who make the best of the way things turn out." And that applies to all of us in all of our situations in life. He said also, "Do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do." Too often we get hung up on things we can't do. A great perspective to have. And lastly, of many that I could have chosen, be more concerned with your character than with your reputation. Your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. So a nice distinction made there. Lots of other quotes available for John Wooden for inspiration. I encourage you to check those out. I hope you've enjoyed this session of Facebook Live Tuesday Tour, as we've talked a little bit about history and a little bit of some of our favorite folks, and really wanted to share the buzz of the basketball team and how well they're doing, and the women too. They're coming along also. So see us next month. I can tell you next month we're going to go to Doomey Hall, and we're going to highlight Amelia Earhart's room. Will actually be in Amelia's room. So you'll want to mark that on your calendar and pay attention to that. So on behalf of April and myself, hail Purdue, boiler up, and we'll see you next time.